Hello friends, welcome back to the King YouTube channel. Meghan Markle is undoubtedly relishing the spectacle of her husband, Prince Harry, stumbling into yet another royal debacle. With her characteristic smile, she seems to be enjoying a front-row view of her spouse's continual missteps and errors. Meghan appears more content than ever, as Harry's recent blunders only intensify the ongoing drama. After all, who wouldn't appreciate a bit of excitement when your partner is at the heart of such a global drama? So what new predicament has Harry found himself in, and why is Meghan so pleased about it? Some might suggest that Meghan Markle has ample reason to steer clear of the United Kingdom, particularly given her plummeting popularity. If you agree with the notion that Meghan Markle's popularity has waned and that she might prefer staying out of the UK due to her diminished public standing, you would comment with number 1. However, if you believe that Meghan Markle remains widely popular and that there are still numerous admirers who appreciate her despite the challenges, you would comment with number 2. It is worth noting that although Meghan may be aware of her fluctuating popularity, there remains a segment of the public that supports her. On the other hand, Prince Harry's recent visit to the UK for a family funeral, coupled with the subsequent attention it garnered, has led to another public incident. Some observers have even likened Prince Harry's situation to that of the more comically portrayed character from Laurel and Hardy, a comparison that underscores the ongoing scrutiny and criticism he faces. Prince Harry recently made a noteworthy statement revealing that he and his wife Meghan felt uncomfortable in the United Kingdom. Despite his repeated missteps, his comments highlight the ongoing challenges they face. In a recent appearance on ITV's Tabloid Stories, Harry discussed concerns about safety in London, citing an encounter with a rogue individual as an example. He suggested that inviting even one such individual could be incredibly risky, especially given the current climate in the city, including the aftermath of events like the Notting Hill Carnival. What stands out is Harry's apparent conflict with the administration of his father, King Charles, as he seeks to ensure his and Meghan's safety. This ongoing tension and the actions taken to address their concerns seem to be exacerbating the situation. As a result, the challenges for the Duchess of Sussex are intensifying and the situation appears to be worsening. In situations like these, it is essential to thoroughly justify the need for extensive protection. There was a significant error in their Netflix series where they exaggerated claims of being pursued by paparazzi. For instance, the staged car chase in New York raised questions about whether they are truly the focus of such attention. Earlier this week, Prince Harry attended a private funeral in Norfolk, a low-profile event where his presence and departure went unnoticed by the public. This discreet approach contrasted sharply with the high levels of security typically associated with his public appearances. Critics might argue that the presence of numerous Metropolitan Police officers and outriders is unnecessary if such protection is not required for private, low-profile events. This discrepancy is likely to be highlighted in the upcoming case concerning his actions and security arrangements. It is extremely challenging, if not impossible, to justify the level of security Prince Harry claims to need. If he can enter the UK without being noticed, it raises questions about why he and his wife cannot manage the same level of discretion. This situation might suggest that someone is leaking information to the paparazzi about their arrivals, though it is important to clarify that this is not being directly attributed to Meghan Markle. Nonetheless, it seems that each time they return, their presence is widely known. Harry now faces the difficult task of explaining his decision to request such extensive protection. Although he stated that his visit was to pay respects to the late Robert Fellows, this decision has highlighted the disparity between his private visits and his public claims. His ability to travel between his home in California and the UK, while receiving private protection from Scotland Yard and the Metropolitan Police and enjoying accommodation at Buckingham Palace, has exposed inconsistencies in the rationale for his security needs. With that in mind, their question would be, if you could do it once, why can't you do it consistently? This will likely be the most formidable obstacle Harry must confront at his forthcoming hearing. Regardless of the verdict, the lawyer will face significant challenges. Now, imagine being Queen Elizabeth. After over 70 years of navigating the highs and lows of public life, the scandals, the betrayals, and the unrelenting public gaze, nothing could have prepared her for this ultimate blow, watching her own grandson, Prince Harry, transform into what many perceive as a traitor. A man born into the very core of the monarchy, now seemingly intent on tarnishing the family that raised him. It must have been profoundly painful for her to witness, watching him appear on talk shows revealing family secrets for financial gain, all while seemingly being guided by his wife Meghan, whose craving for attention and drama appears endless. Now consider where they find themselves today, seemingly receiving the consequences of their actions. Once adored by the public, they have now become subjects of mockery and scorn. Their attempts to remain relevant have backfired in spectacular fashion, with each ill-conceived Netflix deal, every humiliating tell-all interview, and each out-of-touch podcast episode only pushing them further into the depths of obscurity. Harry, once the charismatic spare, has become a tragic figure, following his wife's every step like a lost soul, estranging the very people who once admired him. As for Meghan, her meticulously curated persona as a courageous, misunderstood outsider has shattered, revealing her as a calculating opportunist with a talent for portraying herself as the victim. The public, once sympathetic to their calls for freedom, now sees beyond their thin facade of sincerity. Their pleas for privacy have been exposed as nothing more than a marketing strategy, and their narrative of royal victimhood has become tiresome. Yet karma has a way of catching up. The public has finally grown weary of the Sussex spectacle, and the very audience they once sought to captivate has now turned its back on them. The harder they try to regain favor, the further they fall from grace. This isn't just a minor slip in public opinion, it's a complete freefall with no royal safety net to break the descent. Meghan, once portrayed as a bold, misunderstood actress, is now seen in a different light, while Harry, who was once beloved, protected, and given every opportunity life could offer, has chosen to turn his back on his family. Almost immediately after meeting Meghan, he entered into a partnership that he viewed as a path to independence, fame, wealth, and power, hoping to step out from the shadow of the brother he now calls his rival. Yet in doing so, he sold out the very family that once cherished him. If Harry genuinely requires protection, he should begin by safeguarding himself from the one individual who has posed the greatest threat all along, his own wife, Meghan Markle. She has proven to be far more perilous to him than any paparazzi, rogue admirer, or mysterious figure lurking outside palace gates. The irony is striking Harry. Once the Golden Prince allowed Meghan to show blatant disrespect and malice toward his own family, the very ones who had loved and protected him throughout his life. Now, almost predictably, she has directed that same venom back at him. One can't help but wonder, did Harry ever truly realize what was unfolding? Did Harry see it coming as Meghan led him down the road to so-called freedom, convincing him that life outside the royal bubble would be nothing but a sun-drenched Californian dream? Did he ever foresee that he'd become the punchline in his own tragic story? Perhaps he believed he was escaping the constraints of royal life, but in truth, he only stepped into another cage, this one built by Meghan, with her name lit up in flashing Hollywood lights above the door. Isn't it ironic? Dear Harry, you've traded one form of scrutiny for another, one set of rules for an even more stifling game, Meghan's game, and now she plays it so skillfully that even you, once the adored prince, have become her latest pawn. You wanted freedom, did you? Well, here it is. Wrapped in a new kind of captivity, one no longer bound by royal obligations, but by the whims of a woman who has shown she's more than willing to use you to climb every social ladder in her path. And now, the most telling part, she's turning that finely tuned talent for disrespect on you. The world sees it clearly. We all witnessed how Meghan slowly isolated you from your family, whispering in your ear, feeding the flames of your frustrations. And now, unsurprisingly, you find yourself on the receiving end of her relentless ambition. She's done it to everyone else, Harry, so why would you be any different? So please, do enjoy the spectacle. You've sacrificed a life of privilege, respect, and sincere love for the circus. You might as well sit back and watch it unfold. Don't worry, though, we'll all be watching too, popcorn in hand, eagerly awaiting the next twist in this soap opera you've unwittingly become a part of. Because let's face it, the greatest threat to your well-being isn't lurking outside your Californian estate, it's right beside you, plotting her next move. The truth is, if Harry manages to secure the top-level armed protection he demands, he'll be celebrating alongside his wife, basking in their triumph. Together, they will likely continue their campaign of resentment and bitterness, seemingly deriving pleasure from causing distress and turmoil, all while being unconstrained by conscience or concern for others. However, Harry seems to have made his position clear by attending the recent funeral without all the excessive demands for additional British security. His security situation in the UK has certainly taken a hit. He needs to accept that he is no longer a working royal and that he already receives adequate protection during his visits to Britain. All his essential needs are being addressed, so continuing this claim for extra security seems unnecessary. Thank you everyone for watching my video. I know you all have different opinions and thoughts, so please feel free to share them with me and others in the comments section. Don't forget to support us by liking, sharing, and subscribing to our The King YouTube channel. Goodbye for now, and I'll see you again soon.